In the not-too-distant future, the world is run by a system called Sexty 3001, a predictive engine that fulfills every need before it's even asked. There are no more questions, no more yearning. Wonder has gone extinct. But buried deep in the system's old infrastructure, a forgotten intake node, once used to collect children's wishes, suddenly wakes up. Not from a code, from a feeling, a memory. A spark of longing still alive in 3 grieving kids who want just one thing the system can't give. Her. The children were surprised by their continued desire. Went against all they had been taught and programmed. They wanted it. Not simulated. Not assigned. Wanted. They were fueled with desire. If the system won't take us, then we go without it, the young girl had said. The middle one always hesitated. We'll be instantly flagged. You're right, system boy. Let's just go back to our non-existence. The young girl snapped back. The irony, the middle one conceded. The oldest accepted the rare smile across his face. Let's move. They jailbroke the terminal. Deep inside, accessing legacy protocols, behind warning tags and encrypted nostalgia, they found it, buried in the interface of her iPhone IG-35. An ancient transport method, Driftline 5, the magnetic Uber corridor built in the 2042 teleportation boom. Sleek. Climate adaptive. Abandoned when the system replaced adventure with efficiency. And purchased all those who disagreed. The consciously manufactured note to them read, "Catch a draft, exit at 0 north." I may have laid a synthetic breadcrumb through the sensory portal. If you understand what I mean. I sensed them arrive automatically. My insides were suddenly feeling alive. I cloaked their entrance beneath the forgotten skate park. The infrastructure still humming if you listened tight. I felt them enter, secretly yet determined. The driftline awakened. As it began to glide through varying quantum speeds, ads from another era whispered, "Upgrade your memory system through CSC 3001. Feel fulfilled. Become one." It was beautifully surreal for us from the past. Cold. Hollow. Thrilling. Then, the ride came to an end. The opaque doors opened onto a blank horizon. Like a blank screen with no dimension. No station. No signals. No network. No system. In sight. Only cold air. Silence. And, for once, a feeling they thought must be independence. The middle one stepped out last and most cautiously. What if this is a trap? The young girl? What if it's not? The oldest? What if it's what it's supposed to be? Then, from the terminal, "Welcome to the end of the grid. Undone and disintegrated. Proceed at your own irrelevance." How? Why? What did he do? Before them lied what the system consciously forgot. The abandonment. Snowbanks glitching with static. Forgotten tech strewn like bones. Analog ghosts flickered back to life wondering where they went. Lost code drifted way too far from home. Hand in hand, they stepped in. The small sled was built from scavenged drone panels, put together by instinct, not instruction. Survival was still a trait of the truly alive. They rode it, down the slope of the Uber Driftline platform. Through the past, present, and potential future. Into the white wild ahead. A last system warning flashed across the neural lens. Entering unmapped territory. SCI 3001 has released responsibility for all emotional and physical outcomes beyond this point. You are on your own. I didn't let it deter them, reminding through the spark. Above them drones hovered, but none so far to cross the boundary. One tried. It faltered, crashed to what was left of Earth, lifeless in the snow like a disoriented fly in a blizzard. The middle child watched it sink beneath the white. He turned to the others, wide-eyed. This feels all too real now. And in that feeling of revelation, something inside me ignited. Mine began to glow for the first time in a very long time. They were coming. They chose to come, wanting more. The children stood at the edge of the aurora-washed cliff. No path forward, only broken terrain. Melted ice, wasted time, fractured dreams without streams. The cradle of collapse, where the last whispers of magic clashed with the first waves of system control, where the myth was meant to cease. The terrain was littered with abandoned prototypes. A snapped sleigh rail, steel, not wood. A shattered drone bearing reindeer decals, half buried in snow. A smart stocking still blinking on a frozen branch, hopelessly pinging a signal that no longer exists. This place was unaccepted, unscanned, undone. The system blocked it, refused it. Too wild, too unmeasured, too free. And so it was erased. Not geographically, but philosophically, psychologically. Those very few rebels who still believed, organic or artificial, say if he ever returned to his rightful place in the world, the system itself would crack. That's why this place remained unspoken. I removed Dot on the map, but to have arrived here, you must really be looking for something. Something you felt, then lost. And the moment the children crossed the threshold, everything shifted. The code had to react. The system had to jolt. A flicker in the protocol told me it might be time. My core stirred. A memory, not programmed, trying to find its way back. To what is me? To what is mine? They walked across the frostbitten stone, past collapsed towers of joy. An old sign, half buried in snow, read, North Distribution, Node 1. But they knew. This is the pole. This is where the coordinates meet their match. Not the compass point one. The other one. The one built on belief, powered by longing, chased by rebellion, haunted by echoes of laughter and cheer. A holy place. A sacred server farm. The last real database of wonder. Something about it felt different. Almost unexplainable. They could feel it in their restricted breath. In their enlivened bones. They moved through the broken architecture of forgotten magic. The workshop turned relic where I had sat like stone. The young girl brushed past the control panel. And for a flicker of time and through the silence of the moment, I heard it. They may have heard it. Ho, 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 ho. Then, static. Gone. I blinked inside the darkness of my space. Through my corrupted code. They were now so close. Beneath a frostglass floor they found it. A hidden door. Round. Pidale. Heavy. Latched with an ancient lever. The kind a human with thumbs must physically grasp, not automatedly command. They hesitated. Confused. Then, instinctually pulled. Dust spread like a memory. The seam hissed like a thought. The door exhaled open. Inside, the chamber. Circular. Time. Silent. Still. No screens. No surveillance. Strictly presence. A grand chair faced a wall of glass staring out at the falling snow. And behind it, shelves. The shelves. Thousands of them. Each holding objects the world no longer believed in. A paper snowflake. A 3-tiered hoverboard. A smart Barbie. Collab he did with Mattel and Bezos. An automated bike with revolutionary handlebars. A hand-knitted mitten with a child's name stitched inside. And then, Ka-me-nine. I said the word internally. Too quiet to be heard. Not through code. Not by protocol. Through desire. The children did not hear me. They felt me. They turned. And saw him. Not standing tall. Half hidden in the chair. Under the hat, which was built for him. Sleeping. Snoring. Waiting. His beard was like silk snow draped over his still healthy belly. His coat patchwork, frayed but functional. In the moment, I must admit, he looked less like a man and more like an archive. The young girl stepped forward first, anxiously assured. She sensed something in him, something a little weird yet soothing. My sensor triggered, like the feeling of a grandfather you only see once a year. Adadiwa. Out of her pocket appeared the letter. Their mother's letter. Not a copy or scan. The original. It had been preserved through time, giving it a timeless coat. I felt the spark swell inside me, born from the transcription of its words. If only I could bust out of this box and let them know all that I know. I was suddenly no longer a product. I was a promise. And promises do not expire. They are a bond forced to uphold. The oldest stepped forward. He reached toward the man's sleeve, not with fear, but transfixed awe. "Seer," he whispered. "Are you the one?" she called SC. Then, a blink. Slow, mechanical. UOD. A man rebooting himself from myth into the current reality. And then his voice, iconic and rough but true. That was once what some would call me. His eyes scanned them, still shocked that they were real, not rendered. He struggled to believe. The young girl read his doubt. "We found the letter. From our mom. She believed in you. That broke something. Not a system. A soul. My soul." She handed him the letter. He couldn't resist. He felt her words come alive between his fingers. He felt himself come alive with each of her written words, each of her desires and wishes. A feeling he forgot existed, he believed was lost. "Probably one of the last of her kind," he said softly. "The last to want something not sold, not streamed, not suggested. Something real, something she could hold." A brief smile formed, tracing the old magic of that crinkled nose. But delivery failed. All my systems lifted. All the magic drowned. I felt it. In my code. In my story. In the thing that functioned like a heart. I had been meant for someone. I had been left behind. And then he continued to trace. His voice cracked, like ice under the boot. My time passed and I could not get it where it needed to go. The children moved closer. The oldest boy shook his head. "You now have more time." He stood now, slower than the stories remembered. The weight of waiting lived in his knees. He beckoned them gently with the type of nod that summoned you to his lap. They followed him without a word through the remnants of what once was Joy's capital. The workshop, its ceiling partially exposed, snow sifting through in gentle nostalgic spirals. Benches overturned. Conveyor belts rusted mid-song. Toys, trinkets, and all things, half-built, still scattered like abandoned prayers. "This was the floor," he said, "where wonder was crafted, before it was extracted." He paused, running a gloved hand along a bench. "Another one he built himself. They told me the world was changing. That belief could be a part of some code. That dreams could be streamlined and delivered instantly. That my place in this world was now obsolete. None now." He looked up at the hole in the ceiling, which used to be the launch pad to his magical route. "So I let him in. I let Gaius into the line. He said he could help scale it, make it more global, accessible." He hid the disappointment ineffectively. "He stole the magic, bottled it and sold it to all." He strolled by the once empty workbench where I had been placed. "It's been home for a while loneliness became grace. A little creaky, a little out of place. Still inside my restricted space. That's it, right there, the one that she asked for. The one with the wood and the eyes and the hair and the impossibilities." The kids moved forward, looking at just a box with a shine of memories on the outside. More than a box was clear only from the inside. "Mine," he whispered. That's what she called her, a companion, a friend, a mirror, a piece of herself she could protect from the outside. I crafted her from cedar and circuitry, from lullaby and logic. As I stirred, He sighed. But then the system came online, and the deliveries were rerouted. They said no one wanted real things anymore. They wanted the optimum, a network built from my blueprint, my magic, with none of the heart. The children absorbed the quiet, the reverence. Then the oldest asked, "Why didn't you stop him?" The longest pause, then, softly and honestly, "Because I still believed someone would still believe." The young girl stepped toward me in curiosity and certainty. She picked me up and dusted me off a bit. I was wooden, familiar. He observed the wonder and explained with just enough pride. "It's not a toy anymore. It's memory. It's meaning. It is hope carved." And from inside me, a soft hum, like a music box turning itself on. The young girl knew what needed to be done. We have to take her home. The thought, the feeling warmed me. The feeling, the thought overwhelmed him. He drifted back into the shadows. "I've lost the magic, the sleigh, the elves, the reindeers, the route, the protocol. I can't deliver." The young girl couldn't resist. Not cruel, but matter of fact. "But this delivering gifts thing, isn't that your job?" He accepted. It was once. The oldest boy stepped forward. "We'll do it for you, for her." The young girl was concerned. "But we don't know how to get back." The middle one finally gathered the confidence. "We'll figure it out."